Hi, welcome to the Conscious
Hello,
Spirit. Yes, I'm Pam.
I am Mari-Lyn, and
Yes,
welcome to
yes. Part two.
part two.
Part two.
Yeah.
Um, yes. So hopefully, and if you haven't watched part one already, please watch that part first. That's the clearing of the homestead, the house, and the land. And then this video is us talking to the homeowner after the fact and getting more information and sharing information. Um, so, yes.
Yes.
So we hope you enjoy it. It was just
We
such a
hope you do.
beautiful
We hope you
video.
were inspired by him.
Mhm.
He was
Yes.
fabulous.
Yes. And if you have activity, please reach out to us.
Yes.
Yes.
Paul showed
Uh,
you exactly how it's done.
yep.
Um, so
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Yes. And we will put the link for part one down below.
Yep.
But you should be
And the
able to
link for
find it.
part two will be below part one.
Yes. Yes.
Oh my
You can
gosh.
reach us at tcseverydaypsychics.com. And yeah,
Yeah.
so you just make a video of whatever your home or your office space, the land, whatever it is. You can put it up on your YouTube channel under unlisted,
Mhm.
and then just send us the link, and then we will contact you for a consultation, and we'll talk before we do anything and tell you the process and everything that goes on with it, etc. So we really hope that that Paul inspires you to do so, and I think he will. He's yeah,
Yeah.
he's pretty awesome. I really yeah, I really like him a lot. Yeah. So,
As do I.
all
And much
right.
gratitude to you,
Yes,
Paul.
so much gratitude.
Yes.
Yes. All right. So,
Okay.
thank you and see you hopefully in our emails.
Yes.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Bye. All right. So, welcome back. We are here with the homeowner, Paul. And Paul,
Thank
we
you for
are
joining us again today, Paul.
yes, and thank you so much for allowing us to clear your space. It was amazing. It
It
was
was.
especially the land. Oh, what a beautiful experience. Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it was a very positive experience for me. That's for sure.
Oh, would you like to start with that, telling us how you feel, what's going on?
Well, first off, remember the chest pain? It was like I swear it was like a lead weight attached to my chest, and it was
Okay.
just the worst. And when I talked to you guys yesterday, it was just the worst it's ever been.
Yeah.
And it's completely gone. I'm I'm still going to go to my
Absolutely. Absolutely.
and do the radiation thing, but I don't feel anything. And I slept for about 12 hours. I swear, after we talked, um, and especially after I sent the letter
Hmm.
that I was kind of getting prodded to send,
Yeah.
it felt like just a ton of weight lifted from me. And
Wonderful.
I went to sleep. I slept for like 12 hours.
Wow.
I woke up. I felt like I was walking on air.
Yay. Oh, that's so wonderful.
And
Oh.
I went back into our bedroom, and it was always chilly back there.
Mhm.
Everybody would always say that. And your hair stand up on the back of your neck. None
Mhm.
of that. None of it.
Yay.
Fabulous.
This is why we do what we do.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
I'm
Oh,
telling
I'm so happy to hear that. And look at your smile. Yay, you feel good.
Yeah.
Ah. Well, we'll start by telling you what we did. We'll sort of go over that, and then you can throw in things when you like if you have pertinent information, go ahead and say it when we're talking.
well,
So,
before you get going, I wanted to just mention
sure.
something
Yeah.
that happened yesterday. Remember we were talking, you had said well, there's something's already here right now. And you were like doing one of these things.
Uh-huh.
That,
That's
that
exactly what I look like.
she was really short and was kind of panicking and was running around like kind of like cousin it, you know what I mean? And I looked at you, you were looking like just the same way I was. I mean, I didn't see her,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I knew she was running around and she was panicking
Yep.
and I saw you doing that yesterday and I go, okay, we got the connection going here.
Yes. Yes. And the fun, and I think it even, so when we do the clearing, we're in our channel and everything. Once I'm out of that, I don't often remember very much. It's just part of what, so I have to, like I had to go back and watch the video again so I could take notes so then I could talk to you and sort of get that information because I don't remember. However, I absolutely remember her. And the fact that she came to me says a lot. Well, and we'll get into that, but usually people like her go to Mari-Lyn. They don't go to me. I was very honored that she would come to me. But there's kind of a reason for that, I guess. She didn't want to get all mushy, and she never did. She never got all mushy, gooey. Oh, there was none of that. She wasn't having it. And I don't get all, I mean, I can, but I'm not the mushy one. So,
That's me.
yes.
You know,
Mhm.
something else I wanted to mention
Yeah.
is, you know, in the walkthrough video,
Mm-hmm.
remember when you might want to look back at it, but I remembered and I looked back at it when I walked into the house and the dog was on the bed.
Uh-huh.
As soon as I walked in, the dog wasn't looking at me. The dog was looking at something else.
Yes.
You know,
When I opened the door, you know,
uh-huh.
she wasn't looking at me. She was looking at something else. And
Yeah.
then
And
you
and
know,
that's so funny because I remember seeing that and I remember thinking, what is the dog looking at? But we never said anything. And
Nope,
I meant
neither
to
of
say
us did.
something later and I completely forgot. So I'm so glad you said something. Absolutely. There were two entities in your home, the woman and then someone else, and they were both pretty stirred up that we were, as we've always said, they always know we're coming before we even know sometimes. And they knew what we were coming for and what to do. So, or what we
why
were going to do.
well, I told you before I called, I said, don't panic, because I could tell she was doing that
Right?
running. Don't worry, it's gonna be okay.
Yes.
And that's when I felt that jabbing in the gut type deal.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And yes. So we're going to start at the beginning. We opened space and then we were really drawn to clearing the earth, the energy of the earth first. And that we just let spirit tell us. Sometimes we clear the house first, sometimes we clear the land. We just go with what we're told, and the land wanted us to clear her so badly. So we did. There was we had Native Americans, indigenous people, whatever they preferred. Actually, native is what they said to me. So I'll use that term. They came in. Oh, I can't hear you.
A little visual aid here.
Oh, okay.
This is the kind of stuff that I find out in the field here. This is like what was used to like grind grain and stuff. And this kind of stuff all over there because it was a farming. There wasn't like arrowheads and stuff like that. I literally just dug this up when I was out there with my tractor.
That's wonderful.
Beautiful.
Just out here in the field out here.
Yeah.
Well, now is some of the land government owned or public land or something around there?
See the mountain behind me?
Uh-huh.
You just go right over there and there's this thing. There's a couple places, but one's called Montezuma's Castle. and then there's Montezuma as well. And those are parks, but they're like the only places ever that they know of where like 5 different tribes all lived and worked together.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
everything they all disappeared just like overnight and no, they don't know why.
Okay.
But
All
yeah,
right.
this everybody said that there used to be a village here. This
Yep.
was
Yeah,
part
absolutely. Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely.
and if you go, there's a it's called Horseshoe Bend, and the river goes right around me, and I'm like right smack in the center of it. And on the other side of the river is Indian reservation. And when they have ceremonies at night and stuff, you can hear
You can
the
hear.
singing and stuff.
Okay. Yeah, well, I used my drum for the clearing and to open space. I often use it to open space, and I did, and I couldn't stop drumming, and it was just like, oh, we have to just jump right into the clearing now because that's where we're getting called to. Mari-Lyn was using her rattles. It was beautiful. So the the so we cleared all the land. There wasn't a lot. Let me see. Let me back up. Okay, so we had 2 chiefs from 2 different tribes show up and a medicine woman. And then behind them, there were some people from the tribe that showed up. This is all energetic. So these are all that have crossed over and they're still watching the land. They are very high vibrational beings. It's not like they're not ghosts or anything. They are crossed over and they watch the land. And we asked them permission to help clear the land. They were very welcoming. They were very generous and very grateful. Sometimes these things, well, not sometimes, they need a human person to help them with the process. So it was absolutely beautiful. We cleared all the land. And there was one spot that there was this vortex there, and it was all clogged up. It wasn't able to clear the earth anymore. It was just clogged up with emotional baggage, with there was some disputes with like property lines is what I remember. I remember there being like it's at a place where several of the properties come together and it's right there. And so, and whether that's of today or at some point in history, there were property lines that all came together there. But it felt like part of it was owned by like the government or it's public land too. But so we cleared that out and got that moving, and that was really beautiful. So they wanted it to stay there because vortexes help clear the earth. They help keep the energy moving and keep it clear. So
Like a drain and a sink.
yes, exactly. Yes. Yep. Yep. That's why Mama Gaia, creates them, is for that reason. But it just got all clogged up over the years of the anger and the disputes and the whatever happened. So oftentimes we will take vortexes and we clear them, we move them out, we move them way out into the forest somewhere or somewhere where it's needed. But they said no, we want this here. It needs to be here to keep the energy clear. So that we left that there. Mari-Lyn, what did you get? I'm trying to remember. I didn't write down enough about the land clearing. There wasn't a whole lot.
There wasn't a whole lot. I remember bringing in gratitude and forgiveness, and really immersing the land with that. Yeah, those were the 2 main things that I was being asked to help with.
Yeah. A lot of energy was cleared. I know after the fact you had sent us some stuff. There was, someone died around there, and there were some other things. We did not pick up on any of that. Very likely whoever that person was, that man or young person,
Well,
he had,
he didn't die there. They were living there in a trailer, and then they moved the trailer, and where they moved the trailer to, he died in that trailer.
oh, okay. Well, we didn't pick up on any of that, so that
Okay.
but if there's any residual energy from any, it's all gone now. Like we cleared out everything. Well, we didn't, with the help of the beautiful tribes, and cleared it all out. So it's all cleared. Now, your house. Does the name Ron mean anything? Ron came in strongly. I kept actually calling you Ron, and it was like, that's not his name. His name is Paul. That was the only name.
That would be there was a family that moved in that pretty much was going to take care of her when she had the cancer.
Okay.
And one of the people involved, that was their first name.
That was their first name. Okay. Just that name came in. Nothing else was coming forth with that, just that name. So that the energy of whoever that person is was pretty strong there, but that person was not there. There was no consciousness attached to it. It was just, and it could have been possibly she was very attached to that person, Ron. But there was some reason that Ron, this person, the energy was still there. It's all cleared out now, but she at one point, and you'll see when you watch the video, she was, what did she keep? She said, "That son of a bitch," is what I think I remember. So, yes.
Sons of bitches.
She didn't like where you put your furniture. But she did like you. But
you know why? Did you see the video with the orbs?
I did not. I
did.
Yeah, that was after.
I did.
Yeah, we looked at a few of them after. I don't remember seeing one with orbs, but
well, the orbs are out on the front porch that overlooked the house of the neighbors that she was attached to.
Oh.
And because of whatever, the one neighbor, he's very mean-spirited, booby trapped and maimed my dog, poisoned him twice. So I put the couch doors so the dogs couldn't go out the door, and outside that door is where those orbs are, and it would be on the front porch where she would probably be sitting out there,
Okay, I got her sitting outside a lot, just staring out into whatever. I got her sitting on the porch a lot.
And that door would be the way out there, and that's why I put the couch, a big couch.
Oh, okay.
That would
be so funny. She did not like that you put that furniture there. Now, when later, so she said, "That son of a bitch," she was like doing this a lot. And but when I did cross her over, when she did sort of just go into the light, she wanted you to know, she thanked you, and she wanted you to know that she was sorry if she caused any problems. And I told her that you forgive her, that there was never even you didn't never not forgive her. It was just was. But she was very clear on making sure that you knew that she was grateful for you. And you were always kind to her.
Yeah. And and it was like,
She just didn't like where you put the furniture.
She, she was she was single, never married, no kids, and I'm in the same bracket. And I do kind of feel a void from her being gone. I could feel that, the emptiness
Yeah.
kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also know that the health thing, because I remember you guys were saying that it's not a healthy thing to be living with something like that
Right.
around.
It is not.
And I can already feel it, the difference. Okay. And then also, I know I, the lady next door, she was really close with, and she's been really nice. And she told me, she came out and she said, Mary said she's never leaving here, and so I know she wanted to stay, but I also know that there's someplace else that she needs to go to.
Yes. Yes.
And I don't know a better place for her or not,
absolutely.
but I just know she wasn't going to let go and go.
Right. And that's it. It's this real, for those poor earthies, it's this real catch-22. They want to stay, and they really don't realize what crossing over, what that really means. They're so attached to human life that they don't know. And as soon as they get a little bit of taste of that, they're ready to go. They're like, oh yeah, I'm ready to go. That's loving. It's wonderful.
So
now,
she is a place.
What? Say,
So she is in a better place than
oh, absolutely. Yes.
Oh, good. That's what I was
Oh yeah.
worried.
Oh yeah. Yeah. She crossed right over. I asked her if she needed anyone to come in for her, any, religious figure or family members or anything. And she said, no, I just want to do this by myself. And she just absorbed into the light. It was beautiful. It was a beautiful crossing.
Did you actually see her?
Mm-hmm.
Was she short with the hunchback and the kind of hook nose with short hair?
I did not see her that way. Like the nose, I did not catch, but the shorter hair, she was a slight woman. And now that you say it, I could see where there would be like, I forget the name of it, but you kind of get that hump there. Mm-hmm. But it was not prominent for me. It didn't mean that you didn't see her that way. Yeah.
I saw her once. That I could always sense her around, but I only saw her one time when I first moved here. I think I told you or mentioned that I was on the lazy boy couch and I had worked really hard all day. I was sitting on the couch and she just kind of walked up alongside of me and stared at me, and I could see her from the corner of my eye, and I didn't get startled or anything. Mm-hmm. And that's when I got a really good glimpse of her, and I described what I saw to the lady next door that was her friend, and she said that I had described her to a T.
Nice. That's
but
beautiful.
That was just that once, but I always sensed her around after that. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. And sometime, she came in, she allowed you to see her perfectly so you could do what you did. You asked the neighbor and the neighbor said, absolutely, that's her. And then you didn't have to see her that way anymore. Then you could just sense her there and you knew who she was. I did pick up though, I thought she was married. I picked up on a husband that she took care of, who had a heart attack.
That might have been long. She was like 92 or so when she passed, so it could have been long before that.
Okay, I did pick up that. I picked up that she did not present herself as a victim. She did not want to be seen as a victim, but through her life, she was very abused by men, is what I got. But
she moved to Phoenix, and she used to work for Bureau Reclamation, creating maps of the Arizona. And it was interesting because one of my first jobs was working for the Bureau Reclamation.
So you guys did have some things that tied you together, because she did like you. She just didn't like where you put the furniture.
Well, recently.
And she loved your dogs.
Well, I wanted to bring something up. Is that you know how I sent you that letter about I mean, she was like prodding me to let you know that, you know, she had this wolf. And actually, there was, when I moved here, there was a down tree there, and there was a den that the wolf lived in. And the den was, inside this den was as large as a VW pug.
Wow.
And there's she had built in a huge dog door over here. My dogs just love. And it was like, you know, she was like, let them know that I loved your dogs because they were big, like my wolf that I
Oh.
the den was. And I'm wondering if she did that because she wanted to make sure that everything was connected. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That, you know, that we were all on the same page, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
that was almost like right after we got done talking.
That is so beautiful. She just really,
Mhm.
yeah. You made her time here very nice. Yeah. We did not pick up on the wolf. But then, you know, when we clear the land, any energies that are there just go. So
Mhm.
there was no time to like really read the land or do much of anything. That certainly doesn't surprise me at all. And there
Mm-mm.
were some animal guides that did come in to help clear the earth. I did not see them. A wolf, certainly, I'll put money on it that probably
Was
came
there
in and helped.
was there a horse?
There were horses, plural.
Versus multiple, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I found over in the corner of the property right over there, there
Uh-huh.
was a grave marker, just a couple. I still got it, and had the horse's name on it. Ended up talking to the lady next door, was her friend, and what had happened was um, she was cleaning some gophers out from the yard,
Mm-hmm.
and she had some poisoning, and the goat came and knocked over the poisoning. The horse ate it and died
Oh.
there. And if you look at the aerial photography of this place from back then, you can see this path where she would walk back there all the time to go see it.
Oh.
Was so heartbroken that that horse had died,
Yeah. Oh.
and she
Well,
had horse.
okay, yeah, there were. They did come in. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know if they were those specific ones or what. They came in with the tribes, so I just sort of at the time
Oh,
assumed that it was part. But I don't know. What do I know? I didn't look into that. So, um, how,
I want to ask about the saddle. There's a saddle back there on your back porch. Is that yours?
no, it was it was laying around. I just stuck it up there. That's actually the front porch. But what happened
Okay.
was after the dogs got poisoned or whatever, this is the backyard is basically my front yard, and the front yard is pretty much the backyard.
mm, okay.
And also with the furniture thing, once the you know, the energy crunch and all that stuff, I moved the bed, and pretty much the living area is all in one room, and I don't really use the other rooms
Okay.
to save on the electricity.
Sure. There's only
And
one
that's
of you. Yeah.
and she
Mm-hmm.
probably doesn't like that, but I went from like 300.
And it's your house. You can do what you want.
I went from like $350 a month to like $80 a month.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
yeah, that
Wow.
works. Yeah, that's worth it. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, yeah.
she was really into all the environmental stuff. Like the house is one of these houses that was made with hay bales. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's really thick walls. It's hay, so it's like once you get it cool in there, get it hot in there, it stays in there.
Days. Yeah.
And the floor has the pipes underneath there that heat up
Mm-hmm.
under on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
But she was real into the environmental, you know, kind of stuff.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. She. I saw two sides of her. The side I saw the most of. I think I used the word cantankerous because she
Oh,
was very, like, she had her way to do things, and you know, she kept doing this. I think my thought was she was left-handed because I want to do that with my left hand, which was I'm very right-handed, so that's a weird thing for me. But There was some neighbors that she didn't like, and there were some boundary disputes. I'm not
Yeah,
sure what that means, but and so but we won't go in there because that's, neighbor stuff. But there was some of that going on, and
but see, there's only one neighbor at the time,
mm.
and that's the one that poisoned
Okay, that makes sense.
and see, you have the wife, okay, who was good friends, but then you have the husband who was pretty much, he was basically put in a situation by the kids to hate her.
Mhm.
And that's kind of the situation I'm in also. But so
Okay.
there was one, and I know exactly where the property boundary line is, because they bought this trailer from her, and they bought the trailer, and they just like took the land with it. And you can
Uh,
look at an aerial photograph, and you can see where they took pretty much 100 feet by
uh, yeah, she was
1,000
not, she
feet.
was still mad about that. She was very upset about that.
And
Very upset.
I,
She's not
I,
now, but she was.
I want, I have wanted to do something about it, but I just know it's just going to throw.
Sometimes it's just better just not. You'll get your chance if
You
it's
know,
supposed to happen. Yeah.
well, I think I kind of back off of everything, because
Hmm.
I'm kind of in the middle of it. I'm back off of everything because I just let it take care of itself. You know
Yep.
what I mean?
Yep.
And
Absolutely.
a lot of it, I think, is a lot of it is I'm being baited into reacting just
Mhm.
so they could.
Yes. Some
uh,
people enjoy that. As you know, they live on drama.
And actually, this guy even told me about what made him upset with Mary,
Hmm.
and he purposely and then immediately told me how he like tormented her on purpose.
That is just
He-
so horrible. Well, yeah,
so
she did not
there
like that neighbor, so she
was
did
a love,
not.
you know.
Hmm.
She loved the wife, but the husband, like I said, I mean, she always wanted to go over there. They'd have parties, and she'd go over there and talk with everybody, and just would really enjoy it. And then when the father turned against her, they would have these parties, and they wouldn't invite her, and he would rub her face in it and stuff.
Yeah.
And he would like, she'd take, she used to give him a newspaper every day. Well, she used to start throwing the newspaper over in the yard.
Yeah.
And it was funny because after that, when I get my newspapers, I'd leave my newspapers over there by their property.
Well,
But
she didn't. And this I'm getting now. I'm not. I didn't get at the time, but I think she was dismayed by the whole family, because now it makes sense. Because I wasn't getting just like one person, one neighbor, like one single person. I was getting like the neighbors when I was
well,
doing this. So it could have been where she was upset, where she felt, out of that family, she had been close and then something happened and it went awry. But
it
she
was a
also,
large family, and the kids. She grew up being. They called her grandma, and she grew up taking care of the kids. And then when the kids grew up, they all took advantage of her.
yeah, she got that, or like the kids didn't like her. There was something with that. There was some stress with the kids. And that could yeah, that fits in. Sure.
And then
Um,
the guy that the one son that was over that had the trailer that ended up getting murdered.
mhm.
After he got murdered, um, his wife moved back here and brought in all her family, and that's when they turned the place into a crack house
Ooh.
and took
Okay.
it.
All
And
right. That could be when the
and
neighbors.
then
Yeah.
it, and then the neighbors never stepped in to help out. They just
Yeah.
let her get killed to the ground.
Yeah. That absolutely lands and makes that sort of puts in some
Mhm.
pieces that I didn't get. Like that makes perfect sense to me. And
Mhm.
there was a very tender side of her, a very vulnerable side. There was some uh codependence there. There was, but I got that she liked to bake and she would do nice things, but then this makes so much sense. But then she'd kind of get crapped on. So
She and see the same thing happened to me. And I even asked the cantankerous, the mean spirited guy before he got. See, he turned on me because the kids did it. Okay, the kids made it look like I did something to the
Sure.
wife, and
Sure.
they did the exact same thing with Mary. They made
Yeah.
made it look like Mary did something to the wife, but really the kids just set it all up.
Yes, and the unfortunate thing is that
The
Mary
kids
spent the. Go ahead. Sorry.
the kids took advantage of her and took her money, and to keep her from coming after them, begging for the money, they turned the father on it. So the father basically used hate as division.
Sure.
And,
That all makes sense with that sort of duality that I got from her. There was like I said, there was a real caring, loving, vulnerable side, but then there was this, where she wasn't going to be taken advantage of, and that could have been, well, I don't know. I mean, my thought sometimes when that's the part that stayed with her when she crossed over was that cantankerous side, or maybe that's how she got, the last years of her life living next to that and having all that happen could not have been pleasant. And I could see where you would become very cantankerous.
Yeah.
And see what happened with me was when I figured out when it became really obvious that they had swindled me for a bunch of money and then turned around and made the father upset with me. Sure. By setting it up and everything. That's when she was running around like Cousin It, and was all upset and everything. And like I said, when I saw you and you were looking around like, oh, someone's it was like, oh boy, he was so upset, it was like, oh, I can't believe I did that again. Oh, it was like, oh, and it was like, I was always getting, and it was like, I always wanted to go, confront the situation and everything, but personally, that's not how I deal with it.
No.
Plus, I knew if I did, and I was just being baited into, okay, come on, knock the stick off my shoulder. Come on, it was
right.
Because
it's better just to let it, it is what it is. Just let it go and just live, because you want to be there in peace. You want to live there in peace.
Well, they create everybody creates your own heaven, you create your own hell. So
yes, sir.
They'll end up having to deal with what they got to deal with amongst each other, because
yes.
sooner or later, he'll know that the kids did all this to him and his wife, because I guarantee you, to this day, he gets up at 5 o'clock in the morning and takes off in his truck, and he don't come back till it gets dark out. And on a Thanksgiving, it ain't the kind of thing a loving couple would do.
No, and they're probably glad, or she's probably glad when he goes. She's probably glad he stays away all day.
And see, the thing is, I guarantee you, the reason that they're butting heads with each other is because of what the kids did, and that I'm here. And if it wasn't for the mom, he'd probably come down here, ram a gun down my throat, and she's like not allowing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just stay back, and this is my front yard, and that's my alley. I keep all my trash over there next to them, and
yep. And you go. Stay healthy in your place. Stay happy.
And let them run me off like they would like.
Yeah. No. And as long as you don't fuel that fire, everything is just fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now,
and I just kill him. He'll come at me like a bulldog ready to bite me. Hey, how you doing? Oh,
right. That's the best way to deal with something like that. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. The last thing with her I will say is I picked up like she was a smoker.
You know what? And this what the mother told me was, when she had the intestinal cancer and was dying, she just started smoking a whole bunch because she didn't
care. Yeah. Okay. I got a lot of smoke, like heavy smoker. Yes.
Well, I told you when I first moved here, in her bedroom, you could see her ornate bed, the pattern
Yeah.
of the ornate bed from all the smoke that was
Oof.
outlined it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
And I found cigarette butts and stuff of hers, an ashtray, and she used to sit in the bathroom for hours at a time smoking cigarettes because probably had 1 inch of an intestine left after being removed. And I took who knows why I did it, but I took the ashtray with a cigarette butt and placed it next to the toilet right there on the counter. But
that's funny. I do want to say for the people watching, so when they watch this, what happened was Mari-Lyn and I had a consultation with Paul. We did the clearing, and then he sent us a bunch of information for us to read. So that's why you'll hear him say, I told you about this, or I told you about this. And so it came after. So it went in that order. So he did not tell us everything, and then we did the clearing. Although during the consultation we had, that's when he was saying, because she kept coming in, I'm looking around, I'm like, who is here? I think it's her. That's what happened there. So in case we weren't clear about that for the people watching. Now there was one, and I'm going to have Mari-Lyn, because she tuned into some male energy that was also in the house.
Yeah, there was a young man. He was native. He would also get in that panic mode. In fact, when I first felt him, I felt like I was chasing my own tail, like just running in circles. And I think the two of them interacted in that same way sometimes. She didn't appreciate him being there, and he wasn't in any hurry to leave. Although I do think he spent a fair amount of time outside. Yeah, what about him? He was basically ostracized from his tribe.
Yes,
For
because he was a
wanting,
native person.
yeah,
Yeah.
And like from way, way back,
He was very old.
very, very old.
Mm-hmm.
He was in line to be chief, or in line to be a medicine man. I wasn't very clear on that.
Some sort of step up, some sort of, yeah, in the
Higher
hierarchy of it, yeah.
higher setting. But he had bigger ideas. He wanted to expand things beyond what the tribe allowed, and they weren't going to have it.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a falling out, and so he stayed. When he was ready to cross over, he asked for his great grandmother if she would be willing to come, and she did. And
she
was
was a medicine woman. Yeah,
she was a
that. She
medicine
was
woman.
beautiful.
She was beautiful. And he went right with her and crossed over.
So, and the way he presented himself was, excuse me, sort of a tall figure, maybe a shadow. You might have seen him look like a shadow, something like that. Maybe you felt someone looking in the windows. He was sort of intimidating, but only because like his height or something. He wasn't aggressive at all. I remember we had that conversation, Mari-Lyn, while we were, it's like, what is this? And there's some sort of, he had a presence to him, but he wasn't aggressive or anything. I don't know if you ever felt him. Maybe if you even knew the distinction between him and her, and Mary, I don't know. But he was there too, and he's now
He is gone.
crossed over as well. So
did he want? Was he wanting to cross over? I mean, once he did, I mean,
Yes.
like with Mary,
Yes.
was it in a better place?
Oh, yes,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
absolutely.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know what else is. Uh-huh. And he
Mhm.
wanted his grandmother. What happens is there is an understanding. There's not a lot of talking going on, but there's an understanding when we're with an entity. There's an understanding of what the other side is and where you'll be going to. And once that understanding hits them, 95% of the time they're completely on board. I'm ready. Let's do this. And he's no exception.
Mhm.
Both of them.
As soon as his great grandmother came in, he he was uh, in awe that she would come for him,
Yes.
and he just went right with her.
Yes. Yeah. It was
Now,
beautiful.
the tribe that was here was Apache.
Oh, okay.
Was Apache, and like I said, there's the Apache tribes is the other side of the river, and you could at night, especially during weekends or whenever having their celebration time, you can hear the drums and all that stuff and singing and stuff from right
Yeah.
here where we're sitting.
Well, they loved the drum. It was as soon as my first clunk on the drum,
Yeah.
it was on. It was like, okay, keep doing this. We were excuse me, I wasn't planning on drumming on video, anything, but I had to because we had to start clearing and it was just so beautiful. Yeah. We is there anything else that you would like to say before I'm so grateful that you allowed us to do this and you sent in you've done everything. You sent in a great video,
You
you
did?
got on here, you talked to us, so you're letting people know that you're a real person, we're not making something up. And the clearing for yourself, for your personal self, went really well. We're so happy about that. We're so
And that's
happy.
an amazing thing because I tell you, I go to the doctor and I had so many tests and stuff, and it's like, they just they just can't pinpoint what the problem is.
Yep.
Like I said
Yeah.
yesterday, I, I'm just a different person.
Yay! Thank you.
We are very
Thank you.
grateful.
And
Oh,
I
really good job.
thank you. And I know, Paul, I know your words are going to affect some people who are watching who may not realize how much the activity in their home is affecting them, their health, and affecting them personally. Um, and I know your words are really going to help someone, and it's beautiful. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you. Thank you for doing
Yeah,
this
we
whole thing.
appreciate you very much.
Yes.
There was one thing I wanted to ask about was
Sure.
the video with the orbs in it.
Hmm.
Was that her? I
I
mean,
don't believe so.
okay.
There was. I will go back and we will go back and watch it again. Well, for the first time. I didn't see it the first time. I don't
Pam
know
didn't
how I
watch
missed
it.
it because I watched them, but I somehow missed that one. Um, Very possibly, and Mari-Lyn, since you watched it, there was so much activity on that land. There was so much energy moving around and of all types of vibrations everywhere. So I
I th-
I
I think that
absolutely
I think my problem is I just pick up on that stuff, and
yeah.
it's just too
Yeah.
what's going on?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know
What's
that feeling at all. Yeah. I doubt you will I shouldn't say it. Whatever you saw there, I'm sure has been cleared out. What it doesn't mean that you won't see another orb ever, but or however, and if you do see again, they're going to all be of a very high vibration, nothing to be worried about or anything like that. You do have tribes, these native people in spirit who are still walking around the land, and they are so grateful to you and that you allowed this to happen. So there's so what I'm getting now is if you start hearing just like a single drum, like outside, you're like, okay, but it's not that big part. That's them recognizing you, honoring you. That's their way of honoring you. So you will hear like just a single drum. It may not for be very long. I don't know, but that's what I'm getting. That they want to honor you. They are so grateful to you. So grateful that you allowed this to happen.
You
Yeah, I
know,
feel that.
Yeah.
all my
Yeah.
all my neighbors, they like put a shed or something on every square inch of their property,
Mm.
and I haven't done anything to mine.
Yeah. No,
It,
they love the open land. That's part of them. And you're very kind. And you called. I mean, it's not us. You called in. I mean, we just happened to be the messengers for it, but you called in healers to help heal the land. And there's just, I can't tell you how grateful they are. They're just so you know, don't get skipped. They're all piling in around you.
right.
They're all in like I can see the headgear and the paint and like they are, it's just so yes. Celebration. They are celebrating you and they are very honored and so very grateful to you.
And I'm this. I feel the same way about them too, because I'm
Yeah.
just a.
Yeah. Feel free to be out there talking to them. I honestly, and go with your gut, go with your intuition on what they say back to you on sort of, there'll be more of a feeling that you'll get, like you might say something and
Kind of
then you
like
might feel and go with it. It's them communing with you.
kind of like with Mary.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Now, will Mary ever just come back to visit and
She
see me?
might. I would
Like,
wait. It
like
will be so typically when someone crosses over, there's there is some time where they're still around a little bit for a few days. But
it's such a big world for them to go out and
yes,
explore.
but she
Kind of
also has to go through a bunch of healing. So there's like a 3 month, wait about 3 months, and I'll bet that she'll come back in her highest version of herself, this beautiful light being. She will come in, you'll like maybe smell the smoke or something. There'll be something there and you'll just know it's her. And yeah, she'll absolutely come back, but not to stay. She's not an earthy anymore. She's not in pain anymore. She's yeah.
was
Say again.
was, was she in pain from
Emotionally,
being,
yes.
from being hurt?
Emotional pain. She was very angry, very hurt, um, very distressed. Yes.
That's
Yeah.
I'm like, and I think that's one of my being opinionated and being you know so angst against what these folks did was just kind of more of like a big brother type feeling. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Do this, but forget about what you did to me. What I mean,
Right.
that's what I thought. And like he told me about tormenting this woman who's 92 years old,
Yeah.
dying of cancer. I'm thinking, what is your problem?
Yeah, it's horrible.
And he was, hey, you're next, kind of thing.
What
You
an
know.
unhappy human. Don't yeah, try not to get involved in that anymore.
Well, like I said, hey, how you doing?
Yes.
I just try
Good
to,
thinking. Yeah,
and I've got security cameras and everything, and
good.
they've like, I mean, I have them on video camera setting the booby trap that my dog got caught in.
Oh,
And and the thing is, it's like, I'm not gonna push anything unless
yeah,
there's he comes on because they think they're above the law.
right.
So when they actually trespass and cause harm,
Mhm.
if I'm gonna blow the whistle, it's because somebody's going to jail, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Right,
Mhm.
Not let's lock horns.
right. Well,
Who's got the
and
bigger.
we cleared everything. There's a higher vibration running through your property now, running through your home. Um, less likely that he's going to do a whole lot. He's not going to know why, but he's not going to be able to feel like he's not going to come after you near as much now. Not that, I mean, someday in the future, you know, the energy can wane and whatever, but certainly for a while it's not going to happen. What are you laughing at?
I just got confirmation that you will smell her smoke when she comes
Oh.
to see you.
Yeah.
You know, I already have. I swear I already have.
I'm
Before.
sure you have.
Yeah.
That's why I stuck that cigarette by
Yeah.
the cigarette by the toilet. And I remember when I first moved here, I smelled, you know, I didn't know anything, the background story until I talked to the mother and stuff, you know, but I swear I could smell the cigarette smoke, you know, like a cigarette smoke, you know.
Yep. And she will do that again when she comes to visit.
She will.
And
And
I just
she's
got
very
it.
grateful as
soon
well.
I said
Everyone
it,
is
it
so
was
grateful
gone.
to you.
everyone
is so grateful to you
Yeah.
for this beautiful opportunity, including us.
Yes.
And please keep us posted. Stay in touch with us. Let us know how things are going. If you need some touch up, if something, reach out. We'll more than happy to come and do more. Well, come and Zoom. But absolutely. Thank you
And
so much, Paul.
and I'm going to make a connection with the land and the people that are out there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
They're very grateful.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you
You're
guys.
welcome.
You don't want words, just can't explain it, you know. It's just a whole new world for me starting yesterday. And I thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
You are very
We're
welcome.
honored. Absolutely honored.
Very
Thanks.
much.
Paul.
You guys have a great holidays, okay?
Thank you. You too.
You too.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.